Please welcome.
Ryan Lewis!
Good to see you. Come on in, let's go.
Yeah! Let's go!
All right.
It's been a lot of transition. But, a lot of it is just adapting to the amount of shows that we've played. Since The Heist came out, we've pretty much been on tour, which, I've just never done a 9-month run before. So, as a producer, because, on the road you're DJing, as a producer, it's been one of the first times that I've been required to be out of the studio for almost a year. So that's been a huge adapting process for me, part of which is putting on some headphones and trying to be creative on a laptop, which is, I don't think it's any producer's preference, I think. But, I started to enjoy it and figure that out and gear up the laptop to make beats, and that's been a big transition, for sure.
Yeah, I know it could be. How do you transition?
I like being the hype man. I yell a lot, jump a lot, but I do miss. Yeah, I miss making beats. I think I found, in the beginning days, 2.5, 3 years ago, the shows were smaller and really personal, and they were your real connection with your fans. You were doing meet and greets and that sort of thing. And even now, it's like you maximize that, and you're now in arenas. It's the downside, I think, for anyone where you're in the studio all the time is you're 12, 13, 14 hours of a very introverted lifestyle. That, when we're making The Heist, 6-7 months in the studio, it's like I could go for a week and see the barista I'm getting coffee from, but not really see many other people. It's just you and a couple musicians, and you're just in the studio. Then you switch gears and you're hyper social. You're talking into a microphone in front of thousands of people in an arena. You're out and about. You're doing interviews. You're doing different events. So outside of what I was getting at before in terms of I miss making beats, I miss that side of my job that I'm passionate about. There's also just the lifestyle switch where you go from being very alone, very creative, very hermit-like to being, the public, famous version of you. And that's a transition, I think, that's getting used to. I don't know. Anybody who goes on tour or is in the studio for a year working on an album experiences that grass is greener on the other side thing, where you hit a certain point where you're like, fuck, if I could just go out on tour and travel a little bit and get out of this room that I've been in every single day. And then you're 9 months and you're like, if I could just not be on an airplane tomorrow, that would be a dream come true. That it's the blessing and the curse of the job, that you're blessed with the fact that you get this variety package of being both introverted and extroverted in terms of your social situations. But then you also hit those points where you're dying for the other one because you're exhausted of this one.
I mean, your producer has been made you find anxiety.
Yeah, I would say that there's an anxiety revolving around not being able to be creative. And I think when we hit the end of The Heist, we had spent so much time. I mean, immediately following, going into mastering, we did 2 music videos right off the bat, both big projects, that I think I hit a point when I went on tour that I needed a break from creativity where, it's not like writer's block, but you hit a point where you don't know if you've got a great song in you right now, you know what I mean? And then you go 4 or 5 months and that felt good, and I think you're right that you have the anxiety of I need to do something creative. And so for me, that can either be music, or that could be music videos, or that could be even editing photographs or something. So recently, we had Can't Hold Us in the beginning of the year, and recently we did the White Walls music video, and that was really, it's hard work too. It's very hard work, especially shooting. But it's such a transition from the hard work you're used to, which is playing shows, into shooting all day before the sun goes down, and then jumping in the studio and cutting and trying to put all the pieces together. So it's been exciting because I think, throughout the rest of the year, we have the world tour, but we're slowly kind of wrapping up, and then I'll be back in a place where I can pursue these different creative things.
It's funny because if you weren't doing,
I think we work together and operate on in a very unique way in a variety of platforms, whether it's creatively, both music and visuals, whether it's running a business. I think that one thing that's tied up in, we're going to stay independent is, in turn, you're starting a small business and you're choosing to be a partner in a business and to take on the endless amount of things, alongside your manager and other people. There's a tremendous amount of responsibilities that go beyond just making music if you're going to run the show yourself. So you have that, and then you have us as great friends. So I think at the forefront of all of that is the friendship piece, and the having found somebody that creatively you trust. You're not choosing it. It just comes natural that they're the person that you're willing to take constructive criticism from. You're curious what they think. You're looking for their reaction to different things, and you work with on that tip. Yeah, but then on the flip side, there's so much included in this job. This is a person I've seen every single day for 3 years plus. You've also got to have the friendship piece there, and just the life respect piece, where as a friend, as somebody who is going to stand by you when you go from being kind of hip hop, underground hip hop famous, to being a worldwide celebrity, then you would hope to have somebody by you that you have a great relationship with, in terms of just trying to navigate life a little bit. And yeah, and so it's unique. It's unique, and I think that it's something that a lot of because hip hop duos are not just the norm right now. I think it's something that people miss out on when you're kind of an MC by yourself, or you're a producer by yourself, and you're not on a long-term level collaborating with people. Yeah, I think that, a lot of people would love to play at the VMAs. I think that you can rewind, even 10 months, 11 months, and the series of things that have happened that have led up to it making sense and being plausible that we would even be let into the VMAs. A lot of things opened up that door along the way. I think if you would have asked me 10, 11 months back, without knowing that any of these songs would have a shot on radio, without knowing how a song like Same Love was going to be received, with a ton of questions, with thinking that Thrift Shop was going to be a pretty kind of song that was really appealing to a really cult demographic, small following of people that would find it funny, that I don't think I would have put it together in my head that it would ever be possible to play the VMAs. And so much has happened that have opened up those doors that it's crazy. It's something that that I would always want to do, but I would have had no idea back then. Well, first and foremost, just processing that whole thing and experiencing all that was just a lot to wrap your head around in general. I think what I could understand and empathize from that, I don't think I felt it to the level that Ben felt it, because he's somebody that before Thrift Shop, to his core fan base, was strongly known as a great rapper and storyteller for songs like Other Side, and for songs that were really deep. And then he's also known for more clowning and fun songs. So I think that the fear is that the world was going to know you as the Thrift Shop dude, and have no idea that you had written these other songs that maybe for him in his personal catalog he would have put higher up on the list than Thrift Shop, particularly before it got famous. So I think what I also experienced was that I did not want to be a one-hit wonder. Nobody does, but I really didn't, because we were not aiming to make radio records, at all. We didn't really think we had a single, and I felt like I had an album that had way more to offer than Thrift Shop and totally different other things to offer than Thrift Shop. So there was a fear and a pressure that it's a little on you to figure out how you're going to showcase the rest of this album and leave the world with stuff beyond Thrift Shop. So I think the obvious move was to shoot a crazy-ass video for Can't Hold Us. And, you know, that to me was even a more, kind of a more obvious radio song than Thrift Shop was. And then hopefully to have enough leverage at that point, and what ended up happening, to follow up and be able to put out Same Love on a huge level with the leverage that you've already gotten from these two other singles. So Same Love was interesting because, you know, it was around this time last year that the song comes out and the video comes out, and it had this impact to a smaller core of fans and to a smaller audience. And then you had Thrift Shop and Can't Hold Us in the middle, and then Same Love wraps around to be the third single, even though it had already been out. But it had a new platform now. It had radio opportunity now, and for as valuable and important of a song as it is, it was able to get almost relaunched, in a sense, the video rediscovered by the world as opposed to kind of a smaller audience. So I felt that fear of like, I really hope that this isn't it.